And this is Jupiter from Manlius, New York, and we are 20 minutes out from the big matchup between DaveCordeiro and Ugluk, as you can see here. Group C showdown. This is going to be crazy. I have with me my co-host and regular when I stream now, Z from Houston area, right? I think
Oh,
whatever.
I don't even get to say my intro. Yes, Z from Texas.
J from
Uh,
Texas. Short and
hey,
sweet.
look at Jupiter's clean old face here. What's going on?
Yeah, well,
What happened to the caveman?
today I knew it was going to be a game with Ugluk and with Dave. Both I know they're going to bring their best, and I expected some fire, so I was like, I didn't want to burn my face, so I just shaved to be safe. Nah,
Nice, nice.
just kidding. Nah, actually, I just got sick of hair getting in my mouth from eating, so I was like, I'm shaving, and then like those
That's
length
kind of
the length that my hair was at, like I didn't know how to trim it down to make it look right, so I just started over. So it'll be easier once it gets to the nice like chin line beard. That's what I'm gonna go with and keep all this clean because I don't need to do hairy caveman anymore. COVID is almost over. So, but with all that said, let's like take a look at the decks that we're going to be watching and playing with today. But before we do that, let's look at. Whoops, why is that there? That's not what I wanted. Where is the?
mm.
Did I add it? Where did I add it? I added it somewhere here. Hold
Tez
on.
is here with us saying, "Who is that?"
Yeah, this is I'm the evil twin of Jupiter actually.
Or are you actually the normal version? And I've been dealing with the evil one the whole time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, but so what we have here, this is the recap from our show. This is the one I got lost trying to find because I forgot to, I just added this. But so we're looking at, oh, this is the wrong one too.
We need groups.
Yeah, okay, this is all screwed up. I messed this
All
up.
right. So what's happening here is we have Dave versus Ugluk. If Ugluk wins, he is the top seed, makes top 16 immediately, whether it's 2-1 or 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
If Dave wins, I think if he wins 2-1,
He just has to win.
Ugluk's still going to be the top seed. But if Dave goes 2-0, there is some like very weird scenario where this bracket ends up screwing all of our tiebreakers up. Because I think all of the people can end at 4-2-4 then with Dave, Dan,
Right.
and Ugluk.
Right. And the big thing for Dave is if he loses, then One Star Peep has a chance to knock him out of the top three. That's the biggest
If he goes 0-2.
variance. Yeah, if he goes 0-2. So
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest like thing in the air, quote unquote. So yeah, so we'll see what happens.
So like crazy things can happen if either player goes 2-0. That's what's going on. If it's 2-1, not a whole lot changes. Ugluk moves on.
Right.
Dave will play Dan next.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the deck choices, as we are familiar with most of these decks at this point. But the first set of decks that we're going to look at is Ugluk's decks, and it is Sad Panda, that's the Librock, the first one. And then we have the Vayne Praetor, and we have Jason Le Defenseur du Fort. I don't even...
Jason deck, yeah.
The Jason deck, yeah. All right, so... We'll start with Sad Panda, I guess. This is a deck that has been banned more than played, with good reason. Sad Panda is a monster of an MM deck. It has a ton of speed. It has a payout. It has ways to win. It has ways to maximize its efficiency score and get to things and interrupt his opponent with.
It literally has almost all of the things people talk about wanting inside of MM.
Mm-hmm.
It has Jar, it has Infernus, it has Mark of Dis,
it has a key
cheat. It has Essence Scale, and then it has Auto Encoder, and it has Platform Nell and Jericho.
And it has a key sheet.
And it does have an Obsidian Forge sheet, which is
yeah.
mostly just adding value all the.
Yeah, so. if this deck had any form of like scaling Amber control, it would be unstoppable. It's already pretty damn good. But
its only true weakness is the fact that it has better Amber control than it looks like when you're looking at just numbers. That is definitely more than that number, but it does not. If you burst for 20 something on turn 2 or 3, which there are decks in our tournament that can do this,
Mm-hmm.
in a fashion that's not exactly rare either, it will lose. So that is the most obvious hole in its game plan.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it's still really, really tough to beat this because it comes out real fast
Yeah, it's
in almost every game.
yeah. I mean, it has 8 extra draw icons too, like in the random pips. So like, and most of them are in Star Alliance. So that transporter, we've seen that transporter platform Nell combo do some work. This is a deck I just would never let touch the board if I had to play against this triad. Like I think that was my biggest like banned deck out of this group period. Even though all the other decks are great too, this one is the one I just don't want to deal with the most. So that's the way I feel about that. So let's look at Vayne Praetor. Vayne Praetor is a deck that like has one of the best setups for ghost form ever. You play it on Edai, you get a word on it, and guess what? Never goes away. The only way you get rid of it is if you purge it. Or if you have a double bounce, you could do it because you can't fight into it because it doesn't take
Yeah,
damage.
interestingly enough, it can't ward the Eddy on turn, so there is a full turn that you can answer it prior to that. But once the ward is landed from either the Imperium or the Legionary, I don't think there's ward in Starlands. No, there's no medic. But once the ward comes down out of the Saurian house, it becomes much harder to because it can't take damage. So it's rough, real rough.
What do you want? So Harlan is getting his number 2 in. All right, yeah. So this deck just does a lot of really good things. It's consistent. And then it has that lockdown ghost form Eddy if it gets to it, which could be very dangerous because there's a lot of archiving here as well. So yeah, I mean, none of these decks are good to play against if you're looking for an easy day. But this deck is pretty fun. So we'll move quickly then on to Jason Le Defenseur.
Which is the highest SAS one at 96 because it has 2 Martian Generosity, which are probably like, yep, 12 points of SAS right there with 2 cards.
Yeah, and it drives like really fast. Like it's got super speed, and it's gonna draw through a lot of stuff. But the I think that this deck, the only thing it really is overly lacking is like it doesn't have scaling amber control, and it doesn't have a closeout. Like there's not a way to really end the game with this deck, other than just playing value, right? Like you play a ton of value, a lot of amber, because you do have 13
I mean, I
raw
think
amber.
playing tons of value ends game, but
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I'm just
it
saying.
doesn't necessarily have a knockout punch from hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like hypnotic craziness. Obviously, no key abduction. If it had key abduction, I don't think this deck would have ever been fielded, but
Yeah.
that's not there. But that said, it's still lots of value playing tons of cards.
Yeah. All right. So these are Ugluk's 3 decks. Let's take now a peek at Dave's 3 decks, and we'll start with his like band bait Caruso, Chef Day's U-boats. In no way, in any form, does anybody ever want to deal with Caruso. For the most part. So I think this is like the auto ban of the
It's
season.
going to be the auto ban for a lot of triads. I've talked about this a lot. There's just certain decks in the world that are going to beat a large percentage of opposing decks because they just don't have a win condition versus them. And we talked about that with Heart. We talked about that with U-Boots Caruso already. There's some other ones out there that are kind of nuts. Yeah. And I do expect, we expect this to be banned pretty much against most triads. Yeah. There are answers to this. There are real hard answers to this that can actually beat Caruso most of the time, but we didn't see any of them in the text that we just looked.
Yeah. Like Crusoe is like one of those decks. Like you either have a great answer for it or you ban it. In most cases, it's going to get banned. There's not a lot of things that are going to give you a solid answer to Caruso. So fully expect to see that one go off the table quickly. And the other 2 decks we have here are the Leader Who Laughs at Time. I like this deck a lot because it has double Fangtooth Cavern, which is like one of my like favorite cards in Untamed. It has Reclaimed by Nature, so you have the artifact control that I dig. It has a key out with the Key Frog, which I love. It has board control with a board wipe, quote unquote, with the Savage Clash there. And then it has lots of cool Shadows stuff happening, like with the Steels and the Bone Things and the Rad Pennies and stuff. So I love that.
Mhm.
But in Logos, it has double standardized testing and Cyberclone as well. Yeah, sign me up. This is a great deck. I love this deck. I think it has a little bit of everything you need. If it had, again, scaling Amber control, this deck would be so good. Like, ridiculous, but...
It does have a lot of amber control. Again, this even at 10, it has a lot more than it looks.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of MM. I've kind of trashed a lot of the Shadows MM, but I have said there are some Shadows MM that really hold their own, and this is one of them. You've got the triple Red Penny, Seeker Needle, and double Fangtooth Cavern, and in late game, Ransack can almost not guarantee, but like close to guarantee a steal of 2 to 4, depending on how you manipulate and manage your draw pile. So like there's a lot more going on to this than normally looks. We've already seen some of that throughout the season. As always, love MM. Love to see this work in one of the few / rare scenarios where the Shadows really does do something other than I'm occasionally going to steal a little bit when I call Shadows. This does a bit more than.
Yeah, and this is gonna get the Golden Niffle Ape award for the person who played the most Niffle Apes in the league. Just kidding. No, but I mean, like, yeah, this deck just has cool things that are happening, right? And like the Fangtooth Caverns are an engine for those Rad Pennies too. So it's like there's just so many cool little things in this deck that make it really interesting. So I'm very excited to see this one get played. And then we see the Creature That Screams at Dreams. This is another deck that has just a pretty good push pull like combo out. Like this has all the tools. Like it has the key out, it has the scaling amber control, it has the board wipe, it has the speed with the library access and the ability to get out of the Logos turn with the phase shift, which means that he can Nature's Call his creatures to get more library access done, and all kinds of little tricks and coolness that happen here. And this deck is
I am seeing 2 speed sigils, and I've been talking about a long time how like there used to be a player in the game that played double sigil decks all the time, even had his own symbol about it. I think double sigil decks kind of died after set 1 came out, and we started seeing better stuff in set 3, set 4, because most of the time you're playing against a deck that has better value on their creatures. So like I guess unfortunately for Dave, both like none of Ugluk's decks are Coda.
Yeah.
Because like Coda versus Coda, double sigil is normally going to give you value if you're the double sigil deck. You have a reason you're going to have a lot of on play value. That's not the case here. Like pretty much, you can almost bet that most like the other 3 decks on the other side are better creatures than you.
Yeah. So let's take a quick peek back, right? And so we're looking at creatures that come into play that would have effects. In the Worlds Collide matchup, like Smoke has plenty of creatures that look like they would take advantage, but nothing really that great. Like Histocrog, like maybe that's the one.
Drekker's value.
Drekker has steal.
Value with autoencoder.
Yeah, there's
Hayden Oswin. That could be.
Oh, that would be huge. Yeah,
gross.
that would be pretty bad. That's why you should be banning this, right?
Universal Translator on top of any creature you just play. Like, there's stuff going on there.
Yeah, that's true.
Both of the bots are redraw discard.
Yeah. So in Praetor we have Kirby's.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have Star Alliance, I guess like it's a guarantee that you're going to have value off of a speed sigil, right?
Oh yeah, and then you've got all your Star Alliance dudes there. Senator's not a big deal, but Pompatus is.
And against Jason, you have 3 Sutterkins. That is like, ooh.
Yeah, and then the Jason deck, I was about to say, like that's one of the worst cards to play Speed Sigil against in this game. Like, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, so I guess the Speed Sigils will be getting discarded.
Like, do you really just chain yourself twice and discard twice? I don't know. It's just real hard to play Sigil anymore. But then again, it's also real hard to play Guntus anymore too. And we just saw Guntus over in the Jason. So.
Yeah. Well, I guess
So we're gonna see.
I guess it's time to get things situated. We got 5 minutes till kickoff, but we have them online, so they might be ready to go. But bold predictions: who wins this match and what gets banned? You know me, I'm with Caruso and Smoke. That's where I
I
live.
before they already sent us to the bans, but we talked before. I'd already had my bans as Caruso, and I did believe that Panda was going to be banned.
Oh yeah, it's Panda. Sorry.
And then they sent us the bans. And what did they end up?
It was it Jason and Caruso, I believe, right? I don't remember.
I banned Jason and I banned Caruso. So yes, the Jason deck is banned. The Jason deck is the one with the triple Sutterkin, double Martian Generosity.
Mm-hmm.
That is out, leading that tab, and then of course Caruso is
Caruso.
banned.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow it did get to play in one matchup this season. I don't remember who that was against. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Guess what? It won.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, so like Jason, Jason, poor Jason, always getting hated on. You know what? I'm gonna call BS on that one, Jason, because I think you're one of the most loved guys in all of Keyforge as far as like people speak so highly of you. So get out of here with that. Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, but with that said, so me and Z both had like Caruso being banned, and we both had Sad Panda being banned, and there was a switch up because Jason got banned instead. With I guess the idea of the speed sigils not wanting to give Sutterkin that super value.
which I can see. Like we talked again, we were talking pregame, and I was talking about Sad Panda. Sad Panda is a great deck, but it does have a hole. If you burst hard enough, fast enough, you're going to beat it. And honestly, if your decks that you're bringing aren't super vulnerable to jar,
Yeah.
that takes a bit away from what it is doing to you. I think the Sad Panda deck has won a lot of the games at the level of that it's playing at, because a lot of the decks that are at this level have key cards. If you take them away, you just beat them, and that's what Sad Panda is doing to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have anything like that in your deck specifically, I think your odds against Sad Panda go way up.
Yeah, so it looks like he's got the game up. I know it looks like he's waiting on Dave still, but I'm gonna jump in there, and we will be ready to go here soon. Hopefully. Um, it's not letting me in. There I am. Okay, cool. Nope, that's the wrong game. Leave. Go back and watch. Do 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 do.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. We have some surprise slash awards to give away to some decks and players, right? We're not going to tell you what any of them are, but we've got some stuff tagged that we're looking for.
Oh.
The prizes will be purely glory and esteem, not on it.
It's just fun to recognize things that happen in the league that are
Yeah.
neat. So the game is up with Ugluk waiting. I am in the queue there. Z, you can get in if you want to as well.
What password?
The password's in. He put it behind the link in the.
Why the heck is it the password is supposed to be the password? God dang it!
Because nobody listens.
You both are O2.
Auto DQ both players. Congratulations, 1-star peeps! Woo!
Let's go. What, Andrew and Dan? Woohoo!
Yeah, we're ready to go when you guys are ready to go. So let's move it. We will give you guys the full view, the full game view, blah, because we know that my pretty shaved face is not what you want to see. Though it is glorious. I love the idea of a golden niffle award. Yeah, me too. I just made that one up on the fly because nobody else in the league I think is playing Niffle Apes, but I could be wrong. I didn't really look that hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't actually do a check. Know lots of people playing Infernus. Dave gets the most Eddie award.
The most Eddie award.
Well, at least for one.
But Bizarro Dave said, "I'm aiming for game 3."
All right, here we go. We have Ugluk with Sad Panda on the bottom and Dave on top with the leader who laughs at time. Again, this is Dave looking to burst hard and fast as early as he can, and you don't get much better of a start from Sad Panda as turn 1 Val means he draws a card, stays at 7, and is allowed to play another card.
And he comes
yeah,
up with a bot book then.
and that's not
Wow!
what you want to see if you're on Dave's side, but he is able to answer with a first turn
Oh,
Savage Clash plus Fangtooth, immediately answering Val Jericho.
Awesome.
I know we've all been in games where Val just sticks and you just can't get over. So being able to answer immediately is huge.
But that was like a huge chunk of his like board control, right? Like this deck, like Savage Clash was like one of the only big outs for him. So now Ugluk has the ability to come back and like kind of try to load up his board state if he wants. And he just has to beat the cavern, right?
Well, oh no, he has double standardized testing. Like he's got a lot of C in deck, and while Sad Panda has enough creatures to create a board, he's not typically relying on a board to win the game. It's just card value and drawing. But that if the Fangtooth Caverns like stay online to great effect, like that could actually make things a lot harder for Sad Panda. Especially since we know if Dave gets up too high, it's real hard for it to come back.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? So what's the Eaton's Jar target at this point?
Ooh, we're about to see. With Leader can reclaim by nature.
Reclaim by nature.
We already got one Fangtooth out. Maybe
he called
maybe the red pennies.
No, he called Reclaim by nature.
Okay, yeah. So that's a lot of big discussion on whether you should always go for the artifact control or you should go for the card that's playing the most.
I think in this case,
I'm on the side of the camp where I call the card and make them draw the answer. So I probably would have called Rad Penny.
Well, let me say my piece. Because you keep that. I was like, I think he did that mostly because he knows that the Reclaimed by Nature could also be used as a amber ramp with the Fangtooth Caverns. Like instead of getting rid of the jar, he could use it on his own Fangtooth Caverns and find value there. I've seen him do that before. So this kind of is a twofer where it's like he knows his jar sticks now and he doesn't have to worry about getting that little bit of a ramp engine going. So
I still would have taken out
I would have took the red pennies, I think.
Because if he gets too far, if he gets in a scenario where he's having to race in amber, the late game cycle of triple red penny, double Fangtooth Cavern, secret needle is devastating. That's really hard to deal with.
But if he doesn't get rid of that's a late game answer. I guess if there was less cards in the deck and it was closer to that point, then I could see that being the call, and basically stopping that engine and making him have the Reclaim by Nature. But the fact is that he has time to get to the Reclaim by Nature, and with the autoencoder he can archive it, and so is almost futile, right? And so the only kind of value I think he gets out of that is by calling Reclaimed by Nature, he knows he can't use it to basically just wipe out his Eaton's Jar on anything else, which would be easy for him, and then him to start using it later in the game as well to cycle the Fangtooth Caverns and get value off of those.
All right, well, we see one penny.
Where there's one, there's always two. Or one of those good for nothings.
And that crap card he will use to get steal value on.
And here comes the
archiving.
He
discards Bonithing in order to archive from the encoder.
Mm-hmm. Just pure value here. This is such a cool deck.
Yes. And interestingly, because of the order of Fangtooth Cavern versus the draw step, he did get the Zenzi trigger. Then he got to kill the red penny. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. And what is the target for? I guess he already dealt with Jericho, so where's the? I guess the Infernus one of the Infernuses is probably the target here for the Cyberclone. Just get rid of that one, especially that one that has a draw pip on it. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. I always forget about the drop part of it. Almost never happens, right?
Be interesting to see what happens here. Dave's taking his time.
But you gotta think about what you're doing, because Drekker sticking here, even the history card sticking here is something because that answers your Zenzi. Right now, the Fangtooth is killing your Francis unless you can kill it with yourself on your own turn. So you can't even answer one of these creatures. That said, it's not likely your opponent actually wants to call Disc next because you can see the discard. You see, what, 4, 7, 8? You see all but one discard.
Yeah.
So if you could answer the disc board, you could assume that they're not like,
and the
they don't really
one
want to call this.
the one is not a forge or anything else. Like what is it? It's gonna be no, Mark is there.
It's not marked with this. So like all the
Picarum?
threatening stuff.
No, Picaroon's there. Like, is it the other Infernus? Yeah, it's the other Infernus. So there's only an Infernus left for Ugluk.
All right, so he does kill with Positron Bolt. He's able to answer the Drekker.
Nice.
So now you can almost fairly certain that he's probably not going back to Dis this turn unless he just wants the. He could answer Zinzi here.
I mean, I guess.
But even that would be like Infernus.
I mean, if he has the Infernus, like that would maybe not be horrible, because he could go in and knock out some of the.
Still just gaining 1 amber. I don't know. I don't like that. But that's what we're seeing. We're probably going to see a Reap, a kill with Hystercog, land Infernus. Oh. Okay.
What was that?
Oh, he wants the Infernus back in his shuffle.
Okay, that's fair. Plays the other Infernus.
And then he is going to burn out some good cards. He gets rid of Sloppy and Eclectic.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of value out of his opponent's deck. It's already down 3 pips, 4 pips,
and a
Bow Knitting, and a Key Frog.
Yeah, and Lithologica is pretty big.
Still think some of that could be potentially dangerous, right? Because leave Dave where his entire deck is like Rad Pip,
yeah.
Needle.
Yeah, and Dave's a pro.
That's also not going to go well for you.
Yeah, Dave's a pro at like managing that too. Like he's really good at that. But we'll see what happens because it's getting to that point.
All of this stuff because again he is crafting his own deck here because he's using all of this stuff.
And you don't see any of the rad pennies in the discard. So
he's
at 0
by nature.
Well, yeah, because he's at 0 draw now, and the Reclaim by Nature is on lock with the Eaton's Jar. So.
Oh yeah.
Nerd.
Oh yeah, it was locked down by Jar.
This is why we lock it, because this late in the round it would be dangerous.
Yeah, because he could have had a lot of that would have been a 2 amber gain from the Vine Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Which, because of autoencoder, even that discard wasn't like horrible, right?
No, not ever horrible with the autoencoder. Reason why it's one of the best cards in the game.
But Panda is now back into its normalized position of I'm threatening to have a huge turn, and you're going to cry if you don't answer me right now. That's what it does.
Here comes Shadows.
I don't know if going into Shadows answers it though.
It does, because he's gonna play his cards, and let them die, and then they go right back into the draw, and he doesn't have to draw right away. Like he can come back, add a Fangtooth Cavern. I don't believe he's discarded his other one yet.
We'll see. I think this means that Val's living.
Oh, Val might live, yeah. Is there a way like for him to get rid of anything? I don't think so. There's no way that Val is gonna die here. But
I don't think he's drawing this turn.
No, he's not gonna.
So that is interesting that there is now an exposed. Maybe he will. If he plays one more card, he will draw. Because currently there was an exposed penny. Okay, so he will cycle here. Because the exposed penny would have been interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
So Val did leave, but this is what we're talking about. He's just pushing for Amber. Because at some point in time, Sad Panda is just not going to generate enough Amber to forge.
Right.
Like that window is getting tighter and tighter right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's like what we had said in the pregame too, right? Like with Sad Panda, like if they can burst Amber, like it's hard because he doesn't have that big like pullback on the Amber. He has like not segmented, but like pieces of Amber that he can pull back at a time, but he can't pull back like 3 or 4 Amber in one turn very easily. I mean, he does have scale with Drekker. It's interesting, but
I mean, I think you're going to see that here. He's probably going to, I don't know, like killing red pennies seems somewhat.
he could use scale here to hit Hayden up, but I don't think that's worth it.
I mean, Hayden's just reaping for one.
Yeah,
That's and
but
then
there's
to
QMAC.
hit Hayden, you'd have to kill Val. No way.
No, not right now.
I think
But
this is definitely
QMAC.
killing an Infernus to deal with Drek. The question is whether he killed. Okay, yeah, he did decide to go ahead and kill the penny.
Mm-hmm.
It does stop a reap. He is in a position where if he doesn't stop the bleeding amber wise, he will just lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be the reap steal. Drekker's super value with scale.
Mm-hmm.
Super sad without it.
So he's gonna do. Oh, he didn't do the second one though. Or never mind. It's a jar. Never mind. My brain just turned off for a second.
All right. So at this point, even with the board threatening you, on Dave's side, you're just looking to push as much amber as you can, as fast as you can, knowing that once the stuff is on the board, the amber control gets real minimal.
Mm-hmm. So we see a standardized testing.
Cyberclone kills
Cyberclone gets rid of Jericho.
the Vow. Positron finishes the dudes.
Good.
This is not Amber Burst, but this is putting your opponent into a real bad position.
Yeah.
Because now he has no creatures, no key. And yeah, that's and this is only one Fangtooth, right? Did he actively discard the second one? There is two, right?
No, yeah, it's still in his hand or in his archive, like one of the two.
I know he discarded a lot of cards while we were talking, so there's a chance he could.
No, he never discarded the second one. I was looking for it. Like I haven't seen it. I think it's in his hand, but he has no need to play that until he's like at 8 or so cards, like where he knows that the Rad Penny engine comes online. But I think Dave is running away with this game. I think this is like
this is the scenario we talked about. It's really hard for Sad Panda to come back like this. It's not really a control deck. It has control elements.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dave did draw all the answers early too. Like he had a really good start. Remember, it was Jericho into bot.
Being able to answer Jericho. I mean, there's a lot of cards in the deck that can answer Jericho, but being able to answer it immediately is huge.
And take the bot Bookton off the board too. Like that was a pretty crazy, right? What is he asking here? Cyberclone. Yeah, it should be 2 types for Cyberclone. He's not wrong, right? Because he cloned Jericho.
I believe it is 3.
It's a human leader and gains. Yeah, so he gains. So it should be 3. Yeah, it should be 3.
There are manual emoting. So what happens here is Cyberclone cloned a human leader, meaning it is now a mutant human leader. And Tropic Swirl does 2 damage for type and gains an amber. So 3 amber should have been gained. And it should have dealt 6 damage, which would have killed the clone. They are fixing that right now. And there's a board.
Yep.
Yes, there are some other known bugs, Cyberclone as well, but that was actually not one of the ones that we were talking about.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird bugs. Like the
guards those Niflapes, and we'll still get to kill 2 creatures. So there goes the Bob Bookton, leaving him with double Infomorph. He does finally forge a key at 7. Not probably the scenario he was hoping to be in. But I do feel Sad Panda will, if he doesn't find a way to sneak out to win this game, probably will have a better shot going up against the next. Gets Essence Scale value. He can't play his Mark of Dis because it would force him back into a Logos turn. Discards Gateway. Real feel bad turn here. Had to get all this stuff out of his hand, but had no choice but to discard. Mark of Dis is one of those interesting cards that is as good as it is really like I say, easy to play around. It is manageable to play around at this level up.
Mm-hmm. That is the truth.
All right, we see Zenzi coming back. Then dies after he gets the extra draw. He's really just looking for the bursty cards, which is hard.
Well, now he's in the position to do his Rad Penny engine because everything is
4 of his amber's gone. He's getting to the point where the draw is getting a little bit less, and he starts to Rad Penny full way. None of the Rad Pennies are purged. So I don't even know what the win condition is after a certain point of the Rad Penny stuff. Like,
you just make more amber than your opponent.
I mean, you at that point you have to. You say make 9 in one turn. Like,
yeah.
Go from 0 to 9. Like, that's a big ask.
I mean, he's like Dave isn't like he can steal all day long, and he still has ways to add amber with the secret needle. So like he's just gonna make a ton of amber. Like I don't see this being like something that Ugluk is gonna be able to get out of because he can't put up. He won't ever be able to put down enough creatures to use the Obsidian Forge effective. So
no, okay. Well, with the double fang to Obsidian Forge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
good shit. It's not gonna.
Yeah, this isn't happening. Like Dave's locked this game down pretty well.
I don't have any shadows in Mem decks like this, but
I love it. Like
that as I do think a lot of the shadows is like this is the high roll. It works here.
Mm-hmm.
It does what it's supposed to do.
It's a deck where Ransack can be abused as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he does need the 4 steal or whatever. It's that routine Rad Penny. Finally gets the transporter platform. I think that would have made a huge difference had it been in any different order this game.
Yeah, a long time ago. And that's another reason to get rid of Reclaim by Nature, right? Like, there's some good artifacts in this.
Yeah, still, I forced the change here, I think. And then make a decision. Now you have to decide whether you're going to reclaim the platform, the forge, the scale.
Well, by now he's already. By now he would have reclaimed at least 2 or 3 times. Like it would have been all over.
Maybe.
Like, I think so. He's going through his deck with auto encoder at a stupid speed at this point.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember if auto encoder was in play at the time, but that could have been the target. It was. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't in play when he played Eaton's Jar, if that's what you mean. I think
that could have been a viable target.
Yeah, but then it just dies.
Everyone that plays in him knows what your deck does with auto encoder and what it does without auto encoder, and it's like playing 2 different decks, entirely 2 different decks.
So, auto encoder has the effect on the game like back when Speed Sigil was good in Coda.
Yeah, it does. Well, even that, it's not one-sided. Like Speed Sigil was always kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, I agree with Eric. Eric says, in no universe should an early game jar target anything other than reclaimed in this matchup. I agree.
But
I know we've already had this.
See what happened?
Like I said, if it was later in the game, like I think that like throwing it on to buy a turn with the Red Penny engine up, it would have been one thing, but he gets to 6, pushes it back over, and says, "Do something."
Why wasn't Nell killed there? He picked
Oswin and
the taunt over Nell
because it had all the attachments on it.
It had 1.
That's still with transporter platform. That's a lot. But he still has more. He says.
Now he draws though. Well, I don't know. That felt wrong. There's only one in the discard right now.
He captured it. So now, like, Dave has to make one amber, and then he can just like let the nail die, and actually he just can let the nail die and get it. So
yeah, I mean he can auto kill it with the thing.
yeah. Oh no, he played 2
Oh no, he
reds.
can't
I don't know if that was a good idea.
unless he has.
Well, I mean, he did burst high enough that it doesn't matter at this point. Like, right?
Oh, he's not gonna let him forge.
Right. He's taking all of it.
That answers.
And then his 2 red pennies are going to go away, but
Well, at this point, even if you have both Inferni,
yeah,
there's only one pip out of both discards.
Yeah, this is locked up. I think we'll be seeing game 2 soon.
Oh, why not? Sounds. So 13.
That's game. Moving on.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I imagine they will be making pretty fast.
Yeah, they're pretty quick usually. So.
Yep. Go ahead and leave and wait for the game to pop.
But there we see game 1. 1-star peeps, you're mathematically eliminated. Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look.
Yeah, it is. Ugluk is now tied, or Ugluk is still at risk of not placing first, but Dave is like got the tiebreakers on 1-star.
Got it
at this point.
We still love you, Andrew.
Yeah, we still love you.
Season 3, get qualified. Let's go.
Yeah. Our next event is actually pretty fun.
Dude, you didn't change the banner again. It's still this Archon's Prime garbage.
Get over it. Alright, going back to full game mode.
It's back up.
No, I flipped it. I flipped it twice. And actually, I downloaded the backup for this to switch it, but I forgot.
All right, so this is the weird scenario. So we've got. Oh, he switched to Praetor.
He did.
So it's Praetor and not Panda here. Interesting.
Well, he knows.
Definitely need to ask him about that.
Well, he's playing against the double speed sigil deck, right? So he has to win. I guess this is like there's like no there's Nature's Call in this, but that's not gonna. I guess. I don't know, like, because he doesn't have a way to deal with that E-die, right? Like,
No.
So if he can smash that E-die and get that ghost form and
well, if he can Nature's Call the turn after it lands, then it's over. Then it's gone. Because as I said, there's exactly one turn where you may answer.
Yeah.
And that is it.
Yeah.
Your window is one turn.
And this is a good start to actually beat that, right? Because now he has creatures he can reap with too, and still get super value off of the Nature's Call. That would be something.
All right, so we're not going to see Ghost Form yet. Looking at the Starlance turn.
He can actually make a key if he was to Nature's Call this. Like if he had gone Ghost Form onto E-die right here, he could have reaped with all 3 of those creatures, played the Nature's Call, brought the Chota and like the E-die back to hand, and won with like got a key and took out the Ghost Form. So that would have been interesting. Oh, it's the mass.
Seeing Kirby's Blaster, Quadricorder, still one of my favorite cards. Always love it. I normally play it on the enemy though.
Yeah.
But Trick-Car's pretty beefy here. Back into Untamed.
Yeah.
So we've got a Reap, Snuffy, Kill Moon, maybe?
Reap if he Reap if he.
Oh, there's the Nature Call.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Oh, he doesn't bring Chota back though. Interesting.
Well, he needs to delay here. Gonna kill the Eddie.
Yeah. Okay, he's just gonna make it.
So unless he cycle, well, hold on. Is this the deck that has Seed? Does have Seed.
Yeah.
And Praetor does not have any artifact control.
Yeah.
So I guess if he's planning on getting the Seed early, I don't know.
Oh, there's a stealth mode too. The stealth mode's nasty.
Yes. Always love Gray. Such good value.
Mm-hmm.
He does get an early forge for 6. Forging not at 1,000,000 against this deck is always value.
He's just high rolling this Untamed and saying, stop it.
I don't know if that's necessarily high rolling. It's just like, all right, you're not going to answer it. I'm going to keep playing it and see what happens.
Yeah. Is that a winning strategy?
It can be. Oh, there's a stomp. Gets rid of some of the bleeding. That Dewfairy has already put in more work than most Dewfairies will ever do.
Ooh, there's Odak. That's going to put in some value.
Yes, it will put in some value. There's definitely a lot of things on the other side. That could actually be a ghost form target as well in this.
And he just negated the Neurosiphon.
Yep.
Oh, well, look at the bursty Amber like going nuts.
Well, he's under library access. It looks like he's hitting really well here.
Yeah.
That was what, 6 cards? Yep,
Yeah.
we definitely drew some of that.
I have to say this is a very good draw for him in this game, in this situation. So
it could still easily swing back the other way now, right? Odak is online, and that means almost all your shadows does nothing right now.
Yeah, Odak is, and he's behind a Kirkar, so like.
Yeah, there's not even an easy way to answer it on board right now.
Because Nature's Call is the only way he really can answer it, because there's not any.
I do think that Ugluk probably should have killed Novu unless there's an answer coming from hand.
Maybe.
Novu can get callback. That could be a problem.
Here comes Corey.
Oh, there you go. Answered from hand.
Oh, that game just swing. Swing.
And warded the Odoak.
Yeah, good luck killing that thing. It's not going nowhere. You'd have to have Nepenthe Seed and a Nature's Call now to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like
lots of things have to happen to get outside of Shadows being completely nerfed right now.
How does Finishing Blow is the one that has damage that if it's damaged it dies kind of thing, right?
Subtle Maul did hit an Eddy, so that's a thing.
He just played double Speed Sigil just to get through the key. I think this is just him going all in on the idea that he can out-pip him at this point.
I mean, how many Eddies does Jason have? If he never sees any of them, like he just discarded Eddy 2.
Jason's
so
not
there's only
playing.
one left.
I'm gonna guess Jason has 0 because Jason's not playing, but Ugluk probably has a couple.
I'm sorry. I thought this. This is Jason's deck. It's the one that's not named Jason. It is always screwed with my brain.
Jason is saying I am everywhere. So there's Harlan saying hi.
All right, did land his Eddy, but didn't get Ghost Form. He is in check for key 2. All the Amber control on the other side is is pretty much
mooted,
done, right? Like the Amber control. Oh, he can have EP, miasma, delay. All right, he's just gonna keep going.
Oops. Oh, he's just gonna outpace the Eddy. Is that the goal here?
I think his oops was he wanted to play the bear first.
That is one less Amber, though, so...
Well, it's actually not one less. It's like way more, because he would have killed the Eddy.
Oh, yeah, I see.
There's the ghost form.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So that bear actually cost him...
Probably the game.
Yeah.
Come on, man!
Come on, man! Against the guy that started the come on, man craze.
Yeah. I don't see an answer. I mean, I guess he could continue just a straight burst, right? Like,
burst.
It is not unfathomable for him to actually hit that much Amber.
But I don't think he can do that. That would be just disgusting. Ooh, there's a good layoff at least with the Ember for Essence Principle, and he does get the Nepenthe Seed. So if he can redraw the Nature's Call, or if he doesn't get a ward on it, he has to get a ward on it too. So that's big. So he has to have that ward now, which maybe he doesn't. And then there's the bring back of the Nature's Call, and you can.
Yeah, but like you're just gonna go into Star Alliance after you get at least 4 Amber, and he can't. Yeah. Can he really call?
But with the Nature's Call, he can get himself to, possible. Well, not anymore because he killed killed the Dust Pixie, but I was going to say there was a chance that he could have got some value off the Dust Pixie, got some other value off the thing. He could have been at close to 6 and been on check with the bear, so like he could have got there if he had been able to get to Nature's Call and bounce it. Well, actually no, because I guess the Id still comes back in taxes, but it does keep him out of Star Alliance, so it would have been weird. It would have been interesting. Boom, boom, boom. Ugluk, good game, right? Ugluk trying to call his shot, saying, Dave, you ain't got nothing. Dave says,
I don't see a
Dave says,
scenario.
I'm going to regrowth my Chota. Ooh! Oh!
Oh, wait.
Oh!
We could get Nature's Call back.
He's going to bounce the 2, 1, and the Edai. Ooh! Dave!
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and then Chota.
No way.
Good game. Later. Dave just 2-0'd Ugluk.
No way.
What a play.
I can't. Wow.
That bear cost. Well, it didn't cost Dave the game. Dave was still able to pull it out.
Even more slanted towards Dave.
Yeah. What a great line.
Yeah. Well played. I guess in this case it was definitely the Sigils did win the game because he was able to keep the pressure on Amber and was able to take it. I know at least Ugluk wanted to come in for a post game, so I'm gonna hang this up and call it in group and see who all we get.
Yeah, let's do that. I know Dave was planning his victory lap earlier, so I would like to know what the outcome was of that because he had said that to Ugluk in chat. Let's jump over and get you guys some audio on this because it sounds like it'd be a good one.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you both. As Jupiter just popped in.
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Dave, talk us about the last line or the last 3 turns, I guess. You had to.
So that turn I said,
for it.
whoops, I had meant to play the Ancient Bear first.
Bear. Yeah, and we were talking about that.
But then I'm like, whatever, this is fine. And then, so my goal with the Logos turn was to get Nepenthe Seed into play so that then I could draw into one of the 2 regrowths that was still in my deck, and then seed back the Nature's Call. And
as soon as I saw you play Regrowth, I was like, oh, he's getting the Chota and he's about to win this game. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, that was great. I didn't even think of it. Like, I hadn't thought about it ahead of time until I saw you play the Regrowth, and then it clicked with me. I was like, oh. I think Ugluk thought he had one too, didn't you?
Well, that was my question. Ugluk, was that good game knowing Dave won? Or
that was the Chota. GG, because I knew he had the Chota to win the next turn.
Okay, fair. So he saw his death coming.
See, I thought it was the other way, because at first I was like, I hadn't counted all of the amber on your creatures. Oh gosh, am I going to have enough amber on those? I'm like, okay, actually, I can get there.
Yeah, because he has captured a lot. We originally were talking about whether the speech sigils were play or not.
I always play them. That's 2 pips, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a point. Like, I think early on though, like it could be detrimental with the amount of Star Alliance and stuff he has. But like when you play
it's fair. I mean, like at the end of the day, creatures a rush deck, and within Shadows itself, there's Naughty, Umbra, and it just kind of turns those on. So, and it is 2 pips, and you're a rush deck, so you're just kind of like, well,
get that value.
I don't want to discard 2 pips. Like,
I feel
if it was 1, that'd be different. But there's 2 of them. I'm not avoiding it.
Yeah,
I mean, you definitely would have lost here had you not played those. I don't think you would have been in a position to threaten the 3rd key at this juncture.
Yeah, both with the extra reaps and the just money on a baseline.
Yeah.
So earlier you were plotting out your victory lap. So I was wondering, how long is it? Like, how many miles are you gonna run?
Oh,
you didn't plot it out. You just talked.
My victory lap was driving to Walgreens and trying to figure out what the hell was going on with my meds there, and then I came back and I actually played. So I already took the victory lap.
Oh, okay, fair. See, look, he knew so far in advance. That's how good Dave is. He is so.
No, honestly, I did think that I was going to lose this specific matchup because it's. If you get a ward on an Edai with the Ghost form, there's not a lot I can do. There's not a lot of board control in this deck.
Yeah.
Nature's Call, Nepenthe Seed, Nature's Call.
Yeah.
I mean, fair, yeah. But, it's like, then I can't seed something else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting. Like, it was a good finish, like, either way. But, Dave, that means that you sneak into the 1 spot, right? Like,
Well,
finishing
depends
at 4.
on how Sheep does, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it still depends
Sheep's
on how
game still
Sheep
matters.
does.
Yeah, Sheep does have the... No,
You need to go figure out who Sheep's playing against and go offer to
Sheep,
help him.
I'm just checking now. I think Sheep is playing Sydney. So if
Yeah, he's playing Sydney.
2-0 Sydney,
Well,
I think
Sydney
he
beat
takes the
Ugluk,
one.
so...
Yeah, Sydney did beat Ugluk, but if Sheep wins 2-0, then he is first.
Yep, if it goes
If
to
he
game
wins
3...
2-1, I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll get back to y'all. It ends up, unfortunately, being the only triangle situation in our event. Of course, it would be Group C.
Oh, hey, I mean, it's got to be these 3, right?
Yeah.
If a triangle happens, yeah.
Yep. 3 teams. Yes. that is, that's how things go. So I'll be very interested in the result of Dan's game.
All right. Yeah, so, like, had to manage Harlan there for a second, but, yeah, like, this is starting to shape up. Like, some of the spots are being filled quickly, and the league is looking like it is going to end with a bang. And I think the play-in games are going to be crazy. Like, they're going to be fun. So we could actually see this matchup again next week.
Oh, before they go though, like, Ugluk, what made you decide to switch decks? I always ask. I don't think I would have in this situation, so I was wondering what your process was, why you changed deck.
I didn't practice with Panda at all, as I thought Dave would ban it. So I was more familiar with the Praetor matchup.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's fair.
That has actually burned a couple of my teammates this year too. This season, like they didn't practice a certain matchup. They played through it, felt that they lost just because they didn't practice because they didn't see certain things and they could have addressed them.
So that it's like Murphy's law for preparation here. Is what we're saying is like if you just assume your opponent's going to pick something, unless you're playing Caruso, it's almost like a guarantee.
I was about to say I don't know if Dave necessarily has that problem.
I thought about that when I was picking decks at the beginning. Like I honestly don't really like it when like the same deck gets banned every time. Like I could have played a different Worlds Collide deck that's better than Caruso, but less obvious, so I could like sneak more power in. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, this is like a league format where like people have time to practice and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if practicing against Caruso is going to do much for them. Like you either have the stuff to deal with it in your deck, or you don't. So I figured I wasn't giving up equity through that.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't ban Panda was because I started during practice. I found that both the decks I assumed that wouldn't get banned were pretty heavily favored against it.
Mm-hmm.
And like at first I thought I should ban the Praetor or whatever, but then I realized all my decks actually do have like bounce and purge. But in testing, I kept running into a bug on TCO where Cyberclone copies upgrades. So I would purge the E-Die with the upgrade, right? And then I would just have a Cyberclone sitting around in play that wouldn't die because it had invulnerable, which is not actually how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, that's annoying. Well, I hope we can figure that out before we play.
Yeah, Cyberclone.
She asked in advance. I looked through and got clarification and talked about a order of operations that would work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, I basically felt like, the one thing interesting I want to talk about while we got Ugluk here is when you jarred in game 1, what was your thought process behind that? I'm just kind of curious because I was thinking about a lot of different stuff during the practice games, trying to figure out what you would jar there.
Mm-hmm.
I usually jar the reclaim because the artifacts are pretty important in Panda.
Yeah, and then like also like later in the game you can use it as your own engine. We've seen you do that before, where you like use your vine tree apple to get a spike and stuff. So I think it was like the only proper call for early game.
And also, if I jar anything else you reclaim, then you can play what I call with the jar.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I just because while we were practicing, we were thinking like you might end up jarring if you already have autoencoder in play, you might jar autoencoder, or if not, like maybe Rad Penny. Since like I really only get one use out of Reclaim by Nature before you can purge it with Infernus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that way, if you don't have Jar I don't know. Like, there's a lot of situations where, like, I feel like you just kind of eat one Reclaim by Nature and then purge it, and then have Jar for something else, possibly. You know?
I'm not sure I have auto encoder in that deck anymore after that game.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dave, I
Yeah.
let you win 2-0. Do I just send you my PayPal? How it works?
Oh,
Sure. You want that, friends and family?
Oh God. You
Well
guys are
played,
too-
well
No,
played.
I was actually hoping this would go to game 3 though, just because like either way, like it locks me into like as long as I win a single game, it put me in the top 3. So like I didn't really care after I won game 1, but
Yeah.
yeah, game 2 was interesting.
And you came out firing.
Yeah.
The ending of game 2 was fantastic.
But taking
I'm
taking the first spot over is huge though, because it does give you that one extra week where you get to prep your.
I didn't think I was in contention for 1, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to hope Sydney 2-0 Sheep.
So,
If Sheep
yes.
loses, Sheep loses, you're in as number 1. Ugluk is 2.
Yeah,
and
I
Sheep
don't.
is 3.
Yeah,
If Sheep wins, then it's the exact opposite, right? No, you went 2-0, so 4. So he has to win 2-0.
I think if he 2-0, he's in first.
Actually, no.
Yes,
If he
yes.
2-1, he's in first too, because he beat you head to head. So like he
No.
just has to win. Yeah, he did beat him head to head.
Yeah, but I think if he 2-1s, we have 3 people at 4-2-4.
4-2-4, right? And he's beaten.
He did not beat Ugluk. We have a problem if
Oh God, that'd
if
be
it's
bad.
2-1.
Ooh,
So we'll
yes.
see.
All right, well, we'll see what happens.
I'm just rooting for not 2-1.
Yes, not
Oh, I'm rooting for 2-1.
I will come to
guys do out of your
terms with any other result.
Oh, I actually I know how that would end up.
You should probably let us know what it is before they play.
It'd probably be the sum of the keys of your opponents that you lost to, right? Something like that.
Yes, we will
Can we
come up
track
with
that?
it.
Are
Yeah, we
keys
have-
recorded?
Yeah, we have all of that.
We do have all of that, but we will come up with a tie-breaking solution.
Because I could have sworn some of my matches that weren't on camera, like I didn't say anything about the keys.
We could.
Oh.
We have the win-loss records of all the decks.
No.
Yeah, but you don't have the
What they
keys.
are asking,
Oh,
we
the
do not.
keys. Oh, I guess
we don't.
maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Cool. Well, let us know.
Yeah, whatever. That would be a pain in the ass. All right, Sheep. You either lose
It'll be
0-2, you either lose 0-2 or win 2-0. That's it. Like, but anyway, we'll figure it out.
I'll take if you lose in 3-2, Sheep. Come on.
Yes, just don't win 2-1. All right.
All right, guys. So
Y'all have a great night. Thank you all for tuning in. We have more action tomorrow. When do they start?
They start soon, but we're gonna go ahead and raid Tabletop Royale right now. So I'll see you guys over there. But thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock is the start time. So we'll be live at 8:30, and that will be Corey Than versus Shaka. So don't miss that one, as there are big Group B implications on that. So that's all I got. So you guys can all say goodbye, and we will raid.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right.